off.
Alison Steadman and an all-star cast in Kay Miller's new drama about the ups and downs of life. Fat Friends, Thursday at 9, ITV.
Wrongly accused Reno Reigns hits the road on his Harley in a bid to clear his name and bring justice. In Renegade, next.
If you're single, or even if you're not, you'll always be welcome at the Singles Bar. People call in every day looking to chat, get a date, or perhaps something more. You'll find the Singles Bar on 09062 622 622, and we have thousands of callers every day looking for fun. So why don't you join them on 09062 622 622. Call us now.
Yeah, how'd you like your surfing? Like me men, fresh with a big box.
And building up now with the Lutz throw before attempting a classic combination with the double axel. Oh, that's sure to cost them dearly. If only they'd gone to Burger King, where their classic combination of the bacon double cheeseburger and king fries is just $1.99. Burger King, winning combinations every time.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to TV's most colourful characters.
Title of a children's story, The Princess and the...
Porker.
Didn't she do well?
What do you think it is?
It's good, but it's not right. It shouldn't happen to a quiz show host. Saturday at 9, ITV.
Paul McKenna hypnotised 3 strippers. Did you once throw your cat out of the window?
Not from a window.
The new Frank Skinner Show, Monday at 10, only on ITV.
Accused of a crime he did not commit, modern-day bounty hunter Reno Reigns takes to the road in an attempt to clear his name, helping those who need him on the way. Renegade.
Come on, call Chatback! 09068 50 50 50. That's 09068 50 50 50.
At the MFI October sale, there's an extra 10% off sale prices. We've doubled that on selected ranges too. Value's home for good.
We're all afraid someone may be watching.
Hello?
Now, we'll have reason to be.
He could be here. He could be anywhere.
Because what you can't see will terrify you. Hollow Man.
Take him down.
And building up now with the Lutz throw before attempting a classic combination with the double axel. Oh, that's sure to cost them dearly. If only they'd gone to Burger King, where their classic combination of the bacon double cheeseburger and king fries is just $1.99. Burger King, winning combinations every time.
Trips and falls at home are more serious the older we get. There's some simple things you can do.
2 sugars, right?
Like putting in 100-watt bulbs to help you see better.
Or asking a friendly neighbour to help you, if you're a bit wobbly.
So what's next, Reg?
Tea break.
Oh, thanks.
Call us now.
Bienvenue à Paris. Merci beaucoup. Vous êtes ici pour affaire, monsieur. Oui, mais je vais à l'opéra ce soir. Tous ces gens qui chantent m'ennuient. Jim, tu as fait un bon voyage. Parfait. Alors, ma grande dévotion. Le soir, moderne matin.
Voila! A stress-free journey brings out the best in your destination.
Here we go. Don't know what I'm getting so excited about. I mean, it'll only be once round the block. I'm longing to go. Oh no, women. More embarrassment when he doesn't clear up after me. Well, well, well. I might get him trained after all. Fancy a bit of a walk? Oh,
I don't just change the way I look.
I change the way I see myself.
I see myself in Feria by L'Oreal.
For me, it's the end of flat color.
Feria is a different kind of hair color with L'Oreal's color technology for vibrant, shimmering color.
And it won't wreck or ravage my hair.
Feria by L'Oreal, worldwide #1 for hair color.
And I'm worth it.
Drop everything and get ready for the biggest comedy of the year.
I'm not that kind of guy. That ain't right.
Eddie Murphy, The Clumps.
If you're single, or even if you're not, you'll always be welcome at the Singles Bar. People call in every day looking to chat, get a date, or perhaps something more. You'll find the Singles Bar on 09062 622 622, and we have thousands of callers every day looking for fun. So why don't you join them on 09062 622 622. Call us now.
Ice hockey, absolutely. Feel a leather on naked skin. That's important to you, Dave?
The Furniture Village pre-Christmas sale starts this weekend.
Save now.
At least 20% off everything.
And in your home for Christmas.
And up to 50% off lots of things.
Save now.
At the Furniture Village pre-Christmas sale.
You'll like what you find.
Now, keeping you up to date, the latest news from around the world, we join ITN for the ITV News headlines.
Good morning. Yugoslavia's former leader, Slobodan Milosevic, has been on state television to admit he's beaten. He congratulated Vojislav Kostunica on his victory in the presidential election and went on to say he intended to spend more time with his family, but to stay in politics. The people who brought about the revolution are still celebrating their success. One of the first acts of the new regime in Yugoslavia was to free the 2 British police officers who were arrested back in July and accused of spying. Adrian Pragnell and John Yor have already spoken to their families and could be back home today. 8 more Palestinians have been shot dead in battles with Israeli troops in the West Bank and Gaza, on what Muslim militants had said would be a day of rage. There was another confrontation in the old city of Jerusalem, where the fighting over ownership of the holy places first flared up a week ago. Detectives are to question the jailed M25 road rage killer Kenneth Noy about the murder of Alan de Cabral, the man who was the main prosecution witness against him. Mr. de Cabral was shot in the head outside a store in Kent yesterday. Police called it a complex investigation with no evidence of any link with Noy. That's it. I'm back with more news later.
Now, the show that pits 2 celebrities against each other, testing musical knowledge and general trivia. Lager music shouting and messing about. Popped in, crashed out.
Alexander, welcome to Popcorn Crashed Out, the music trivia show that boldly quaffs where other shows fear to sip, with the help and encouragement of 2 distinguished, if slightly foolhardy, celebrity guests. On tonight's show, Apollo 440 serve up their modern adaptation of a spaghetti western. We act like Mexican jumping beans as Anthrax and Public Enemy bring the noise, and we giggle nervously as Queen Adrena go all Dolly Parton on us with their cover of Jolene. Tonight we're joined by Jez, guitarist, programmer, producer and one half of the Utah Saints. Power to the Beats, the Saints' new single, is released on Monday, and as well as featuring a Metallica sample, it also features Public Enemy's Chuck D on vocals. Expect more whacked out collaborations from the Utah Saints when they release their new album 2 on October the 23rd. Power to the beat. Joining Jez on the couch tonight is Therapy frontman Mr. Andy Cairns. Acclaimed Irish Mob Therapy have just released their So Much for the 10-Year Plan compilation, which celebrates what can only be described as a decade of decadence. One of Britain's best loved live bands, you can catch Therapy when they hit the road later this month and carry on into November. It'd be rude to miss them. Gentlemen, thanks a lot for joining us this evening. Popular guys. So have you been sort of swatting up on your sort of music and trivia in general to, engage in this heavyweight contest tonight?
Been trying to. I've been going through the encyclopedias of rock.
Right.
But I haven't got to roll yet, so I'm just like halfway there.
Yeah.
But
I've been studying the roll part of it. Yeah, the cheese roll part of it.
Of course.
Yeah.
We start with the first round of the evening. This is the Time Warp. We're going to show you videos from 1, 4 and 17 years ago. Gentlemen, watch this. I'm going to ask you some questions about these videos in just a second.
All locked up in the afternoon. It's my baby and my heart gon' go. Make my heart go boom boom. 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 Gilly bop, gilly bop, gilly bop, boing. Gilly bop, gilly bop, boing. Make my heart go boom boom. Make my heart go boom boom. Make my heart go boom boom. Make my heart go boom boom.
If I could talk, I'd tell you. If I could smile, I'd let you know you are far and away my most imaginary friend. If I could talk, I'd tell you. When I could smile, I'd let you know. If I could talk, I'd tell you.
You look rather innocent. Let's start with you. Are you a fan of Apollo 440 at all? Do you know much about them?
Yes.
You do know quite a bit about them, do you? Well, let's see. Apollo 440 recorded the theme to which science fiction film in 1998?
Lost in Space.
It was Lost in Space. Smart. Okay. Andy, we move over to you and Evan Dando, the sort of slack rock king.
Yeah.
And the Lemonheads.
Creator and Lick I really liked. And after Mrs. Robinson, I kind of didn't really buy any of the records again.
Right. Well, let me ask you a question about the Lemonheads then. The Lemonheads had their first UK Top 20 hit with which Simon and Garfunkel cover?
Mrs. Robinson, yeah.
It was Mrs. Robinson, yeah. No flaws on it, well done. The Lemonheads, of course, parted company with their label in 1998, but they're not. They're working on a new album as we speak, which is called Car Button Cloth. Ace. Right, let's move on to a question for you each about New Order. I don't know if you particularly like New Order. I prefer to call them out of order myself. But anyway, Jess, we start with you. Complete the title of this 1987 New Order single. Touched by...
The Hand of God.
Spot on. Your New Order question. Yeah. What's the name of the band featuring New Order's Bernard Sumner and ex-Smiths fella Johnny Marr?
Oh, Electronic.
Absolutely right. That's right. New Order apparently are recording a brand new album, which is due out sometime next spring. Okay, well played guys, but no time to catch your breath. We're storming on to round 2. This is what we call the Magical Mystery Years. We're going to tell you what was the UK #1 single this week that year. We're going to give you 2 new snippets from that year to flesh it out. All we want to know is, what is the year in question? So, Jez, we start with you. Your video clip with Anthrax and Public Enemy.
never batted and back, cause the brother is madder than mad at the fact that's corrupt like a senator. Soul on the road, but you treat it like soap on a rope, cause the beats and the lines are so dope. Listen for lessons of playing inside music that the critics are blasting before. Build as a camp on the brothers and sisters like what the country has us up for the war. We got to get them straight. Come on now, they're gonna have to wait till we get it right. Radio stations like Western and Blackness, they call us the black, but we'll see them later. Turn it up! Bring the noise! Turn it up! Bring the noise!
Jez, you work with Chuck D, of course, on your new single, Pound to the Beats.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it like, sort of, you know, meeting the man and all that stuff?
Well, we didn't actually meet him.
Oh, choker.
Well, no, it was the first thing he'd done outside Public Enemy, so we were really totally honoured, and we sat across the track and a hopeful letter, and about 8 months later, after we'd given up hope, his manager, Mr. Walt, rang up, and Mr. Chuck was into doing it, and that's how it came about.
Of course, you also managed to you know, throw a Metallica sort of sample into the mix as well.
They've never played a sample before, and so yeah, we were completely honoured for that. We had a lot of honouring, really.
Yeah.
No, the whole thing was fantastic to get Metallica and Public Enemy on the same record, really, or Chuck D, because especially with the Napster thing, where they're kind of being pushed into opposite corners of the same argument.
Absolutely, yeah.
So to get them together on one Utah Saints record, fantastic.
Right. Okay, well, back to the point in hand, actually. We need to know what year that video was actually made in, but I'll give you a few more clues to help you out. The UK #1 this week, that year, was Bryan Adams with Everything I Do It For You. Of course he does. That stayed at #1 for 16 weeks, a record-breaking feat. The IRA fire mortar bomb into the back garden of number 10 Downing Street. And sadly, the director of Bridge Over the River Choir, Dr. Zhivago, and Ryan's daughter, Sir David Lean, passes away. So what year are we looking for, Jez? Any ideas?
I'd guess at 92.
Oh!
91.
Spot on! Very well picked up there. Well done. Andy, your video clip. This is The Pretenders with Back on the Chain Gang.
Circumstance beyond our control. The phone, TV, and the news of the world. Got in the house like a pigeon from hell. In our eyes and descended like flies. Put us back on the train. Back on the chain gang.
So Andy, let me ask you about Chrissie Hynde, because we were talking during that video about the fact that she's quite remarkable, really.
Yeah.
In more ways than one.
I never got her at the time. I thought she was a bit of an out-scrubber, to be honest. But,
Cheers. Don't talk about the woman in my dreams like that.
No. But I did like the band actually have that single. But I just think initially, whenever she first came out, I was like a young kid growing up in this small town, Northern Ireland. And she did look like the gang of girls that kind of poured the chips down your wife fronts on a Friday night.
Well, a painful experience.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Especially if there was curry on them.
Let's move on to the point of this exercise. This week, that year, the UK #1 was Musical Youth with Pass the Dutchie, whatever that may mean. Unemployment in Britain reaches 3 million for the first time since the 20s. In that same year, the unemployment despair obviously got to Erica Rowe as she gets her busters out during a rugby match between England and Australia at Twickenham. Who could forget that glorious moment? Unfortunately, in that same year, American jazz pianist Thelonious Monk passes away. Right. So what year are we looking for there? Bear in mind you've got the single.
Well, I'm trying to think, 1982.
Spot on.
Yeah.
Can you remember where you actually bought that single then, Andy?
Yeah, I bought that single in Burt McCormick's in Ballyclare in County Antrim.
Oh, no, well.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've reached the halfway stage here, and I can tell you that at this point, Jez, you're just slightly ahead. So very well played. Andy, everything to play for in round two? And a bit more cheeky behaviour from you, I'm sure. Time for us to take a well and beer break and for you lot at home to watch what we like to call a video nasty. This is the overtly cocky Craig McLachlan singing the praises of a rather big-haired Sheila by the name of Mona and prancing around with a bunch of people that look like cousins that are a little too closely related. To add insult to injury, check out the face of the drummer in this video howler. Before we show you the offensive video in question, though, we'll leave you with a trivia teaser. We'd like to know, what soap opera did Craig actually star in prior to embarking on his rather ill-fated pop career? Was it Home and Away or Neighbours? Answer after the break. We'll see you then.
Listen to my heart go bump to bump. I need you, baby, and that's no lie. Without your love, I'd surely die. Hey, Mona. Mona. Hey, Mona.
On peut vous donner un coup de main.
Voilà un pied. Du camembert, s'il vous plaît. Café bobo, s'il vous plaît.
À l'arôme délicat du camembert.
A stress-free journey brings out the best in your destination.
If you're single, or even if you're not, you'll always be welcome at the Singles Bar. People call in every day looking to chat, get a date, or perhaps something more. You'll find the Singles Bar on 09062 622 622, and we have thousands of callers every day looking for fun. So why don't you join them on 09062 622 622. Call us now.
Welcome back to Pop Sig Crashed Out. The question we left you with before the break was, what soap opera did Craig McLachlan star in before he actually became a pop star? The answer, of course, was he starred in both Home and Away and Neighbours, which makes him double out of order. Right, my guests this evening are Mr. Andy Cairns from Therapy and Jez from the Utah Saints. Before the break, I made a fundamental error, and I've whipped myself senseless during that commercial break. And in fact, I have to tell you that Andy Cairns and Jez are in fact neck and neck at the moment. Even Steven. So there you go. Right, you ready for more fun and games? Okay, let's move on. This is the objects round. We're going to give you 3 objects that make up clues that denote the names of a band or an artist. Jez, we'll start with you. A set of plastic teeth. A Shakespearean tragedy. And a Lulu CD as well. Rather late period Lulu, unfortunately, but never mind. I'm sure she's still pretty good at that point. And for you, Andy, you get a set of masks here.
Oh, Slipknot. Fantastic.
A piece of rope.
There's a knot in it.
Yes, but and 7 of 9 from Star Trek.
Oh, okay.
There you go. So, Jez, your 3 clues. Any ideas whatsoever?
Ooh, it's quite hard, really. It's 3 sets of teeth.
That is significant, I think. In a rather teethy kind of way. A Shakespearean tragedy. Don't be put off by the author.
Yeah, I know it is now.
Do you want to share that with us?
The band that are quite famous for having great teeth. Tragedy. I noticed the emphasis you put on the word tragedy. Lulu. No,
Yes.
I don't get the link at all.
You don't get the Lulu link?
No, I don't get the Lulu.
Think of Wedlock. Oh, do you know that? Do you know
Oh, yeah, another link, yeah.
Go on.
She was married to one of the Bee Gees.
She was. So the name of the band that we're looking for, clearly, Jez. Come on, let's get to the punchline.
Taxi!
That wouldn't in fact be the Bee Gees then.
Absolutely. Brilliantly divined, I think is the only way I can put that. Andy.
Well, I think mine on first goes Slipknot because of the clown, the pig, and the obvious, like, the sort of noose thing. I don't know where she comes into it at all.
7 of 9 from Star Trek.
They've all got numbers, haven't they? Right, yeah.
Yeah. So what you're saying is?
It's Slipknot, yeah.
It is Slipknot, very well played to the... Okay. I'll tell you what, let's take a look at the Bee Gees and Slipknot in action, and let's see if you can spot the difference.
You can tell by the way I use my walk, I'm a woman man, no time to talk. You need love, I really want to be kicked around. Since I was born, I never tolerate. I got this, and you may look the other way. But we can try, we want to stay, and do your time, but that's not fair. Whether you're looking away, so you're about to staying alive, staying alive. Feeling pretty big in the next
you know it's good, just shut up and beg for the background. Don't you know you're dead, this that's what we know. Yeah, Mr. Kirsten, take it in the back, boy, out, I'm going here, shit, cause the gates hit it louder. Come on, I get a baseball attack, they living up front, going home in a basket. You get up on the power, no, nothing, nice or shit. Wait, that's something, fail, start protect, and you can do it if you want, but I'll find you coming up behind you. Spread it out, all you want to send me down, all you want to send me out.
Right, now we move on to a round where there's no questions whatsoever. All we need you to do is just simply relax back into the comfort of that couch. We're going to show you 2 brand new videos. All we want to know is whether you love them or hate them. We start with Queen Adrena, featuring members of Daisy Chainsaw, as they once were, and their reinterpretation of Dolly Parton's Jolene. Here it is.
Jolene, 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 I'm begging all you please don't play my mind. Jolene, 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 please don't take it just as you can. Yes, behind the black, with one watch of all the red with ice cream, and ice cream will be. Like the breath of spring, your voice will stop like summer rain, and I can play you, Jolene.
Queen Adrena there with their brand new single Jolene, which is out on the 23rd of October. Now, Andy, your thoughts on that, because you did used to cover Jolene yourselves, didn't you, in Therapy?
Yeah, well, we never actually recorded it. It comes back from, we did a gig in Cork Sir Henry's years ago, and all the equipment broke apart from one guitar amp and a mic. So in my drunken state, I decided to play some impromptu cover versions to keep the punters amused while the gear got fixed, and that was one of them. It all was appalling.
Your version was?
Stroke,
to set the
stroke
record
genius.
Right. Of course. Yeah. I mean, Queen Adrena's version then, you actually
I really like it, yeah. I mean, I really liked Daisy Chainsaw. I thought they were sort of good scuzzy rock and roll band. And Queen Adrena, we played Lowlands Festival in Holland 3 weeks ago, and they were on just before us. And I'd never heard them before, I'd heard bits and pieces of the record, and thought they were great, and the crowd loved them as well.
Right.
That was really good.
What do you think of that cover of Jolene?
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah?
I really like the groove on it. It's, I can remember when, because we're from Leeds, and the other Leeds band, I suppose, that a lot of people know is Sister Mercy. And Sister Mercy used to cover that song as well.
Did they?
I think it lends itself to reinterpretations. So when people do it like that, I think it's cool. It's really cool.
I never knew the sisters did that, actually. I can't quite imagine, you know, these people.
It started very low and went very high.
Went very high. As the trousers got tighter in their later years. Yeah, okay. Right, we'll move on now to our second new release of the week. This is Pitch Shifter with Dead Battery.
Another stitch out, another zip ride. Johnny was right when he said no future. Pretty straight to the dog with language on break that city time. They'll put it right, keep it right, help you sleep at night. Yeah, who grew up to be the dead battery? You wanna run me down and get shot of me? Who grew up to be the dead battery? You wanna run me down? You wanna run me down?
Pitch Shifter there with their brand new single Dead Battery, which is out on October the 9th. Jez, what do you think of the Shifter then?
I think they're really good, and I think that their time is about to come now. I think that they're just starting to get the recognition they deserve. I think they've always had a really good grip on what's happening, I think, from dance music as well as like the kind of metal side of things, and I just think they lock it up really, really well.
Andy, your thoughts on your mates in Pitch Shifter? Go on, flag it off.
No, I think it's brilliant. I think they're one of these bands as well. I remember like what Jess is saying. I remember years ago we played a gig with them in Manchester, and we started out and they were going through the whole big, heavy industrial sort of sonic soundscapes and noise. And it was all right. You know, you wouldn't be humming it on the way out of the gig, but it was fantastic. It was really powerful. I mean, I think the songs are really, really strong, and fair play to them, you know.
Right. Okay. So if you had to pick one of those as tune of the week, which one would you pick? Queen Adrena or Pitch Shifter?
Pitch Shifter because it's their own song.
Right. Jez?
I'd just have to pick both. I would. It's just been different. It's hard. No, it's not because it's been on the fence. I think they're both different, and they've both got their own qualities.
I think that song is so strong, that Pitch Shifter one. I think it's great.
Well, by Andy's very generous comments, Pitch Shifter, tune of the week it is. Right, okay, now we move on to, well, what is the last round of the evening. And I can tell you at this stage that actually you are still neck and neck. So this is... That's bloody exciting, for God's sake. This is the round where I fit in as many questions as I can to 45 seconds. Jez, since you've been such a good bloke, we're going to start with you. Your 45 seconds start now. Which American band recently played the last gig at Wembley Stadium?
Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi, I'll take the answer. You really don't want to know that, do you? Right. Which rapper dressed as Marilyn Manson in one of his videos?
Eminem.
Correct. Trey Cool is the drummer with which band? I'll give you a clue. They're American. Narrows it down, doesn't it?
Is it Foo Fighters?
No, it's Green Day. Which band recently released an album called Uppers and Downers?
No.
The Yo-Yos. Which rap band was Dr. Dre in prior to going solo?
NWA.
Correct. Which band recently revealed their taste in men?
Placebo.
Correct. Which band recorded the theme to...
That is loud.
If you don't leave the bull alone... Jess, I'll start as I'll finish. Which band recorded the theme to Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, the TV series?
No.
You're going to have to hurry.
No, I've got no idea.
Ocean Colour theme.
Yeah,
A round of applause for Jez, though. I hasten to add, you've steamed ahead there. You've steamed ahead. So, Andy, your 45 seconds start now. Drummer John Moss briefly played with two punk bands before joining Culture Club. The Clash and who?
The Cortinas?
No, it wasn't the Cortinas. It was the Damned, actually. Who sang with hardcore rock band Black Flag?
Henry Rollins?
Correct. Which Teardrop Explodes album is named after a mountain?
Kilimanjaro?
Correct. Whose current album is called Parachute?
Coldplay?
Yeah, it's not a very good album either, actually. Which female artist recently had a hit with I Turn to You?
Absolutely no idea, sorry.
Good, it's Mel C. Jimmy Page recently released an album called Live at the Greek with which band?
The Black Crowes.
Correct. Which ex-Sex Pistol released an album called Open Mind this year?
Glenn Matlock.
Correct. Which band recorded a... Stop choking the monkey like that. All right, I'll start as I'll finish. Which band recorded a track called Another Girl, Another Planet?
The Only One.
Correct. Very well played. You're a bit of a one, aren't you? Jez, I'm afraid you're tonight's loser. But there are no losers on this show. There are no losers. You can go home to Leeds on the night bus with this beautiful kebab. My local kebaber in Tufnell Park.
Thank you very much.
It's gone a bit cold. I'm into the fact that it's been behind here for
a couple of weeks.
Half hour or so, but there you go.
That's great, thank you very much.
There. I'm sure you can reheat that on the exhaust. Right, but Andy, you are, of course, tonight's winner, and you win the 4 cans of, well, actually remarkably expensive
Anonymous lager. Thank you very much.
Super strength as well, so don't try and drink all 4 at once.
Oh, thank you very much.
You did try that once on the show and haven't recovered yet. What it remains for me to do is to thank our 2 guests this evening, Jez from Utah Saints and Andy Cairns from Therapy. We'll leave you in the company of Andy and the Therapy chaps and their brand new video for Bad Karma follows you around. Thanks for popping in. We're off to crash out. See you next week, same time, same place. Cheers.